Okay, so today is December 3rd, and the topic of today's lecture from the book Affirmations for the Inner Child by Raquel Lerner is self-discipline. Today, I will enjoy the pleasure of self-discipline. In winter, the tree outside my window is bare. Branches grow out of its hot trunk. Each branch supports the twigs from which the leaves will sprout. Its ordered growth is a model for my own. As part of my recovery, I am learning to support my growth by establishing healthy rules and order. I base my self-discipline on self-esteem rather than on fear of abandonment or punishment. As a child, I lived in chaos. Some rules were rigid, others were non-existent. Hungry or not, I learned to clean my plate, but I did not learn rules for a proper diet. I learned to be polite, but I did not learn rules for developing relationships. Today I will enjoy the pleasure afforded by my self-discipline. I will adhere to appropriate rules that bring order to my recovery. Well, yes, that is the reading of today, which, basically it tells us or it gives us the idea that, well, people typically seek order in their lives, right? Uh, it is important. But the question in hand comes where you start asking, well, who gives that order, right? Does that order comes from God? Does that order comes from society? Or does that order comes from oneself, right? The reading typically is telling you that, well, and it's a fact that society is disorganized. There is a lot of uh, disorganization in its own order. Of course, there are rules in society, but those rules are just to uh, keep it going, right? Maintaining its own disorder, which is leading us nowhere. And what the reading is telling us that, well, it's only setting an example with the regard of food, but it's also implying that there are things wrong in the way that we eat, right? Especially in a carnage society where they eat animals all the day, every day, and they think that's healthy for some reason, and they have justified it, right? Without no other explanation, right? But just because, basically, right? And we just have to keep doing it, and that's gluttony, right? It comes down to gluttony. So if you want to heal yourself, if you are in a path of recovery, you have to inevitably find your own way of eating. Regain your sense of an enjoyable meal. And I hate to tell you the truth, but it's not the way that people eat. People think that they are, for some reason, feeling comfort while eating those dead animals. I have to tell you, it's not. It cannot be comfortable eating those things. I mean, once you go vegan and your notion of food changes, you already know that eating a dead cow, right? Steak or chicken, or grilled fish, right? Or roasted chicken, whatever. It does not, sorry. Gosh, that does not give pleasure whatsoever. Uh, so you have to, if you're in the path of recovery in any sense, you have to create your own rules. The same goes if you are, for example, drinking, right? Alcohol. You are typically it is because you are in an environment in which you have been taught or you have been conditioned to think that drinking alcohol is good and it's socially acceptable, and you're drinking with friends and whatever. So if you have to break apart from that, you have to say, well, I'm going to create my own rules, right? And I'm going to create my own space, right? And the problem is that if the rules that society has given you come from God or come from society or your environment or your small group of people, whatever it is, and you're sick, those rules are wrong. Create your own. Have the self discipline to say, no, I am going to break habits, I'm going to break bad habits, and I'm going to create new ones. Do it bravely and not caring on the consequences that might bring, because at least socially, because the inner consequences of that, right, the personal consequences of that, your health is going to improve, you're sick, you're going to get better. And that's the idea of the reading of today. If you liked it and the considerations that I gave it, give it a thumbs up, leave any comments below, share it through your social media, and as always, if Providence allows it, we will meet each other in a different time.